Through trials and tribulations, you have prevailed. The spirit is unbreakable, never derailed. With a rich heritage and culture and grace, Liberia, you are the land we embrace.
You are welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia.
Yes, you're welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia discussions and a beautiful, beautiful Friday evening from my end. Today is the 4th of July, 2025. And it's going to be a wonderful discussion here tonight. Let me say welcome to my colleague, Paul the Lord Timothy from the UK. Hopefully, the rest of the guys will be joining us. But for now, it's the two of us to get this rolling. And we can promise you that it's going to be interesting. But Paul, let me say welcome to you.
Thank you, Lynn, for it's good to be back on this Friday edition on the Portland discussion. And I'm good. How are you doing?
Well, I'm good. All is good. Nothing to complain about. At least, like you always say, we are still counting money living, and this is our home. You know, the earth is our home. So when we are here, we must praise the Creator.
Absolutely. You know, funnily talking about the Creator, I had a discussion with a Nigerian fellow today at work, and this guy had done some kind of religious studies, and he went in depth of understanding religion. And the guy said, look, all of these things, you've been seeing it here, Linford, that these people actually, the story they concocted, all those stories and things that people just sat and wrote story, and then they sold their story to the rest of the world to follow, especially we African. They sold their story to African. And sometimes some of the thing, if you follow it, you become a critical thinker. If you follow some of the story in the book, then you start scratching your head, and then they will tell you, say, instead of them being say, but this does not make sense, to say, oh, the Bible contradicts itself. That's the big clever word they use with it. So yeah, we're just talking. You see, the thing is, it was used for control and to get power. Imagine in the old days where you had the kings, the queens, they were closer to God. So anything they said, it remained. So the high priest would tell you, say, look, and let Linford eat wish, and you'll be beheaded. That's how powerful these people were. So I mean, the guy went in depth of this study, and he was saying, say, if you study deep, you get angry with yourself. Well, why we African, we're not critical thinkers? Yeah. So just want to let you know on why you've been seeing somebody too been doing that research.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, if you allow somebody to come in your house and tell you what to do, and then you don't resist, you believe what the person. No, I always tell you, there is a difference between knowing and believing. Now, I know Paul. I have seen Paul. Nobody can believe that, or nobody can make me and say, believe that there is a miracle Paul, because I know him. So I would believe about somebody who I know. So there's a difference between knowing something and believing it. Because if you believe something, that's something that you have not seen before, but somebody wants you to know, to think that, imagine that it exists, and so you believe that. So that's why they come and tell you. They say believe. Are you a believer? Yeah, believe. Once you believe it, whether it's crazy or not, you will be a part of it. So, but if you and religion, is that when you begin to question. The whole thing about religion was designed to keep people in darkness, to keep people mind closed, so that they can't see what's going on, they can't question nothing. So, in order to do that, they put fear factor in it. They attach some fears to it to make it look fearful. That if you do this, you'll die right away. I mean, come on, how much you pay for life, Paul? You didn't pay anything for it. I didn't pay anything for it. So why scare him? The person who gave you can take it anytime.
Absolutely.
So how much you pay for life? So much that somebody will tell you, do they believe this? So That's it. That's the whole thing. But I believe in the creator,
Mm-hmm. And this is what the
But
guy said. He said, but the thing is been there. The African have been worshiping the creator before all of these those guys came with their la stories. So, and something I said to him, I said, you know what? Do you know after the ADs, after all of this, we all have a date of birth, and there will be a time that we all die on a particular day in a particular year. Isn't that right? But one particular individual, they gave a false date that he was born, but they never gave the date that he died. You see? So they will say, oh, there were 3 days this person he rose, but so that death time can come in March or it come in April. So and people bought into this story that Easter, so the day the person died, that day is not given. You see, so this is the whole thing about it. The thing about religion and provide
you see the
go on.
the whole thing here is um they had to find a way to make you afraid, to make Africans, because we are not willing to go the extra mile. And let me tell you how African people are. Not only African, most human beings, they get the bird baby, right? See the bird baby just sitting there in the nest. By the time the man fly in, it open your mouth. Whether the thing they put in the mouth is soft or it hard, it will swallow it more. Just open it, just swallow it. See it? That's how Africans are. They will come and feed you with any information. You can't question it because you think, and in the first place, you feel that the people bringing it, they are so superior to you that they can take, they know everything. So by the time they feed it, when you tap it, you can't leave it anymore. In fact, people are willing to die. Imagine a friend of mine he was diagnosed and then with some sickness, and one pastor had the guts to tell somebody about the guy and say, because that man hate Israel, that why he got that sickness. Can you imagine? Pastor, you see. So they do a lot of things. But guys, I mean, we are not saying that there is no God, there is God, but for somebody to come and tell you and convince you and take away your way of worship, your way of belief. Our people used to look at the mysterious things that the new human being cannot do. So that they look at that small water that is very mysterious, or that forest, or that rock, that's something that is beyond human capacity. And then they say, okay, maybe the creator, the person who made all the power inside this thing. So that's why they show. If you look in the Old Testament, our country people here, before they were making our country people to make sacrifice, the dry chicken, they kill animal and thing. The same thing. The same power talk about it. Abraham, they were making sacrifice with animal. So all the two of that tradition will pass down to people. But then the Europeans came and change the whole thing and put their own sense in it and make us to believe it. We got a group of people who wrote the Bible. The man who they wrote about, he said did not read one script. Okay, so tell me, what's saying make that I'm ready about Paul? I'm making people to believe about Paul. Paul did not write anything. So yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to have a wonderful show tonight, guys. For those of you who are Christians, sorry if we give you our opinions. We're not offending anybody. If we offend you, we're sorry. I've been there before. I know it well. I've been there. Even maybe more than some of you. But there comes a time when you begin to think. And when you think critically, then of course you become the enemy of religion, because religion doesn't want you to think. All religions.
Yeah.
From A to Z. They don't want you to think.
This country called
Yeah.
Israel, right? They see Israel, I think that's where Moses came from with the Ten Commandments. And it's clearly written in the Ten Commandments, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not lie. It's all written there. From that see Israel group. But the same Bible tell us Israel can go kill other people, and then when they die, they will sit on the right hand side of God. And the same Bible told us when King Solomon or King David died, they went and sat on the right hand. So who died and went and saw these people sitting on the right hand side of God and came back to say, yes, it's true? You see that? You see, so if you're not thinking critically, you're not follow this nonsense that the people, this story they wrote to us. It's like Walter Sanka who wrote about this story about this young girl in a village. She was so beautiful that every man wanted, she refused, that the devil had to go borrow parts from all over. This no kind of Mickey Mouse story. That's the thing they presented in the book for people to buy into. You see?
But I will tell you something, Paul. It's a lot of things in that book that raise so many questions. Number one, well, I mean, not even number one. Number one, I can be thinking about, right? The same Bible say go to the Israelites to kill all the animals that were in Egypt.
Yeah.
They kill all the animals. Then when they were escaping, then the Egyptian reportedly were riding horses to chase them. So where the horses came from? Number one. Number two, the during the flood, Noah built an ark, and the exact measurement of that ark is mentioned in the Bible. So they think it can take more than even 500 people. But the ark here, according to God, according to the Bible, Noah was supposed to take the pair of every animal into that ark. Imagine elephant, what can eat like that? Baby animal, whales. So they have river in that, or they have ocean in that, kingdom,
So the fish,
that
the
the
fish
whale
not
and thing were
animals,
living
right?
in. But they can live on sea. I
Yeah.
mean, they can live on dry land.
Yeah.
Elephant they can eat like hell. So how elephant they were eating? Lion can eat other animals. So the lion, what were eating?
So and there are different kinds of ants. So
Well,
the
our
ants,
men will not answer the questions. When you ask it, instead of answering, then they get mad. They start swearing you.
yeah. Anyway, this is interesting, man. What's on the
But
money today?
I think we can now try to share. But first, let me ask you, what's on your mind? Let's start with what's on our mind first, and then when we come back, then we're gonna after what's on our mind, we're gonna take our musical break. When we come back, then we can go into actual business. So, what you been thinking about, man? I mean, the whole week, and then coming to the weekend, what's on your mind?
Before I tell you what's on my mind, there's a situation because I follow football like you as well. So Liverpool, practically one of their star players got killed in a car crash with his brother. And today too,
Mm.
Arsenal midfielder Thomas Partey have been charged with 5 counts of rape. The former Arsenal player Thomas Partey. So this is the news, and I don't know why footballer always get caught in situation like this. Most time they get away, and sometimes they go to jail. So that's the thing in the football arena: tragic death, and then another person being charged with 5 counts of rape. The former Arsenal midfielder, the Ghanaian midfielder Thomas Partey. So that's the news. And what's on my mind is Mama Liberia. There's 2 things actually. I would and will dive into it. Samuel Tue, the former finance minister who came from Ivory Coast that the government wanted for investment. He been in Liberia for a very long time now. And just last week, we know that 29,000 Beck arrest business, few former government officials were taken to prison. The big face Samuel Tue, who the asset recovery boss said that they have this guy got over $30 million in Ivory Coast. That's a big money compared to the 29,000 Beck arrest. And he knew how he disbursed all the money. Samuel Tue is in a country, the government where it's so hard to prosecute somebody. What's on my mind is why is the delay of sending Samuel Tue to quote, let them lay out the evidence and this guy should go behind bars as they claim. That's what on my mind concerning Mama Liberia. The next one is Europe. Russia and Ukraine, they have now taken different ship. The Russian now, they're not stopping. It look like from looking at from a far distance, I think the Russian is now going for regime change in Kiev. That is what they're going for. They're not backing down because they have seized all the territory they wanted. And it was beginning of this week, they took the other place, the Donetsk Republic, where they have the Donbass, where you have all the mineral, is now fall under the Russian territory. The Russians have taken that. So I think they're going for the full blast now. They're going for regime change. That is what on my mind. Those two things, Mama Liberia and Europe. And yours? You muted.
Thank you, Paul. And I think we're thinking similarly. What's on my mind is the major thing is we want to see the logical conclusion of this Samuel 12 stuff. And because according to him, his press conference today, he's telling the government, do not ask me. If you want to find out anything, go to WFP, not me. And so that's another dimension to the case. So if the accused is saying that he should go to a third party, so that means the accused is also accusing somebody or is trying to draw in a third party. So the case is going to be a little bit interesting, in time to come if the government can at all establish any case against him. And the next thing I'm thinking about is why is it that there are certain cases the government can pursue, the government can run with, but there are other cases that just dormant, like nothing happened. I mean, people being killed, and we can't see any corporates being held, we can't see any outcome. But when it comes to 29,000 barrels of rice, that one human being in your lifetime can produce triple of it, meaning that rice is not important than the life of one human being. But they will prioritize rice and take a bunch of government officials to deal, take them to court. When rice can even be restituted, they go, okay, the people can say, okay, we are guilty, but we'll bring it 29,000 barrels of rice, we'll pay for it. Okay, but human being die that nobody can bring back to life, and nothing happens. So sometimes, it kind of raises certain questions. How concerned is our government for the life of its citizens? Something that the president took oath to defend. And on the international front, like you said, I think the situation in Russia is getting between Russia and Ukraine. I don't know, should I say escalating? It's been escalating since, but I think it's taking a new dimension with the Russian marching in. But then the question that comes to mind is, what happens to the other NATO countries? Because the whole war started with the NATO thing. So if the war started because of NATO, what happened to the other NATO countries? Why aren't they doing anything? Are they waiting for the final whistle, or what's going on?
That is the question, because they came up with it in the coalition of the waiting. So the coalition of the waiting sitting down now, Kiev is on bombardment. What are they going to do? Are they going to go and defend Ukraine? This is it now. They're talking about increasing their how they call it, military might. So they all raising 5% of their budget to see how they can increase their own military. But this guy, who they lied to all say his ammunition was depleted, now for some reason they sent about 550 550 drones today this morning in Kiev. So if this guy their weapon is depleted, then where is getting all of these things from the bombarding Kiev back to back? So that's something we'll look at. I know Francis just pop or he'll be back here. Yeah. So we'll look at that. And then so today now what we'll be looking at, very interesting topic for our audience. Samuel Twe. Why is it Samuel Twe cannot be sent behind bars? We need to find out why they dealing with this guy. Who we talk about now, he should be behind bars. He had a press conference today. Then another question. Francis, welcome to the bottom line discussion, my brother.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. How the link for how you doing?
Link for muted. You muted, link for.
Okay, Francis, thank you, welcome. And just before I forget, today is Friday, the 4th of July. So happy Independence Day. You see, we Liberians, we are Americans by default, so.
Yo, my independence is now July 26th.
We also celebrate. Yeah, July 26th and July 4th.
So June 6th. And then independence will be June 2nd or something, or before that.
No, the Independence Day for America is July 4th.
Norwegian is June what? Norwegian is June what? June 1st or June 2nd?
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay, but whatever. So we're gonna Paul is gonna drill us through what we'll be discussing, and then we'll take a short musical break and share the show, and we'll come back and start the discussions.
Right. So to our audience, what we'll be looking at today is the former finance minister. Why is this guy still thinking about he's not behind bars since he came from the Ivory Coast to face trial? His question is why. We want our viewers input on this thing. And also, we'll be looking at why these 5 countries were invited by America from West Africa. Why? This is the question. If you look in the middle, there is the headquarters of the Pentagon. Why these 5 countries were invited by the U.S. from West Africa? We can speculate on this one here. Equally so, we'll go international. The Ukrainian and the Russian war. We'll talk about it. So, this map of West Africa, we can look at this map of West Africa to find out why is it only 5 countries from there were invited to meet Trump. Linford and Francis, that's what we're going to now. We need our viewers' input. So the topic to now be Samuel Twe, the former finance minister, had a press conference today. He pointing finger. Why is Samuel Twe, who was invited, he should have been arrested from Ivory Coast, being behind bars for investment? Why is it Samuel Twe still wearing Kosu in Monrovia? Guys, that's the show for tonight.
Okay, thank you very much, Paul, for providing us that outline of what we'll be discussing. So, for those of you joining us the first time, we'd like to say welcome. This is the Bottom Line Liberia discussions. We discuss the issues here from here to bottom. Let's welcome a few people. I see one Afri lady. He said Liberia know too much. Well, thank you, sir. It's good that we know too much. If you choose to remain ignorant and don't know anything, well, that's a choice. But we choose to know. So that's a difference between we and you. But in any case, welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia discussions, and please respect us because we respect you. Let's also welcome Chadera Brown Chirople and those of you whose names we cannot see now. Okay, let me welcome Charles Renewable Energy. So we'll be taking a quick musical break, and the reason is we want to be sharing the show while we are playing our music, and we'll come back in less than 2 minutes.
My people, where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. Y'all gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not go. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to beat? You see, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not go corrupt. I said no one to trust. My people, no one to hope on. Nobody. My hope that I have been broken. I'm telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they said they could afford? But they're too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but yeah, then instead they delay. People suffer. No work for people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they fall.
Through trials and tribulations. Through trials and tribulations, you have prevailed. The spirit is unbreakable, never derailed. With a rich heritage and culture and grace, Liberia, you want to land where you grace.
You are welcome to the bottom line, Liberia.
Okay, you are welcome to the Portland Liberia discussions officially, and we'd like to say welcome to you. Your first time here, stay here and be a part of the show. We can discuss and be very, very civil in our discussions. Let's welcome Royal Rock. A lot of people, well, I don't know what Royal Rock means, but so, gentlemen, it's over to you, Paul. Today, first of all, let's welcome people who are joining us for the first time. And then if you're celebrating any particular occasion today, like your birthday, your wedding anniversary, or whatever, we let us say congratulations to you. But again, on the flip side, if you are celebrating any side occasion today, we let us say our sympathy with you. So, Paul, take it over.
Well, thank you for mentioning that. Just to let you guys know, tomorrow will be my birthday. So I will be celebrating too tomorrow. So I will be having some Jack Daniel and relaxing, eating some chicken and all that to celebrate my D-Day. So first day, before you came on the program, we asked what on your mind. Linford gave his perspective. I don't know if you follow. So what's on your mind, my brother, before we get into the discussion tonight?
Well, there's not much. I mean, although the mind is not isolated, it's not it always has something on it. But no, life in general, we are growing older and things seems to be moving so fast. Look, I was at work today, and I work at the airport, and I met this group of Turkish people. I mean, I've seen, but the level of patriotism patriotism I've seen, the level of zest, the level of anxiety, the level of love, and people going back to their country. I mean, you can see it in the people how happy they want to go. They go back home all the time. They are so proud of the infrastructure. I mean, the system. I mean, although what the West want us to believe, or Turkey, they have their own version, but the Turkish people themselves. So I sat and wondered, say, uh, how many are so proud to go back home, Liberia? I mean, go back. You leave Liberia after 10 years, you go back and meet the same old thing, Only go back home because you have friends and family back home. Yeah, but nothing really intriguing. Absolutely no expectations to going to see something new. So, like, when will we reach that stage? Because every year you go back to Turkey, you meet, you go to Ankara, you go Istanbul, you go to other places. There are new things happening, but we stay at the same stage, man. So, like, when our leaders will ever put us in that uh, situation that we always want to go back home. So yeah, basically that's what on my mind. Like Liberia, man. God, we are at the same stage. We still blame everything on the war.
Hmm.
I got some feedback, man. Some feedback. I don't know from who.
There's something that we need to sort this out. But anyway, that's I think before next program we're trying to figure it might be having some technical issue. Maybe that's where
Yeah,
the feedback
sure.
is coming from. We need to sort it out. So yeah. Anyway, to our viewer, for those of you joining us for the very first time, this is the Bottom Line Discussion. If you join us by Jala TV, welcome to the Bottom Line Discussion. This is where we have our own opinion on things, and whatever we say, we're responsible for our own thing, not a platform. So, want to say this, but we'll start with the international news, where then we end up with this. We'll ask our audience, why is it this guy Samuel Twe yet to be charged with the allegation? Why is he still wearing Kosu around? What the government waiting for? With all the things the girl Samuel Twe, this guy should be behind bars. That's my opinion. Why are they wasting time with Samuel Twe? And the question is today too, why is it that only 5 countries from West Africa built? Only 5. These 5 countries was invited. 5 presidents were invited by Donald Trump. Why these 5? And in the middle there, you see the cycle? That's Pentagon. Somebody posted this. Why Liberia, Senegal, Gabon, Guinea-Bissau, and Mauritania? That Mauritania name for?
Yeah, Mauritania.
Why those 5 countries? In my mind, they say because the Sahel nation are moving eastward. We need your view to our audience. And then also, what we're going to start the program on, how come now Russia is now going for the kill? Are they going to do a regime change because they have getting the area they want? They started with Kiev. My city, this city I've studied in for many years. Do they want Zelensky out? Is it regime change? To our audience, we want your input. So Linford and Francis, we'll start with international. And then the big question is, after the situation in between Iran and Israel, the Western world went silent for a while. There was momentum between the NATO nation called in Europe called themselves the coalition of waiting that were going to supply Zelensky with all of these deadly weapons to try Russia. They have made all of these promises that will, because I know Great Britain signed 100 years contract with Ukraine. But guess what? The mineral they wanted Russia have taken that territory, they're not going to get it. Trump signed contract with Zelensky, they're not going to get it. It's not in the Russian hand. Are the Russians now going for regime change? This is the question. We're going to do a quick video clip on what happened last night in Kiev, and this is being reported by Channel 4 News in the UK. So we want our audience to chime in. We'll display our number. Drop your comment, call in. We just want to know why. Is there going to be a regime change in Ukraine? Because the West is gone silent. So let's take a look at this. What happened this morning? Is this source is from Channel 4 UK.
Kyiv, a very long way from at rest. A European capital city that Vladimir Putin thinks should still be in Russia, and the bombs are falling harder and faster than ever before. It begins like this, the sirens warning people to take cover. The tracer fire. Some of the incoming is intercepted, but there's so many. Eventually, the inevitable. The unmistakable buzzing sound of an Iranian-made Shahed drone. Closer and closer. Russia launched a record 550 last night. 72 made it through. After well over 1,200 days of war, some residents are so weary, hiding has become futile. Luckily for this group, it misses their apartment by a fraction. That was freaking horrible, he says, as the explosion rips past his window. Even in the bowels of a building, deep underground, a direct hit is terrifying. Emergency services scramble to do what they can, until eventually the drones and air defenses give way to an improbable dawn chorus. There's no time for melancholy, for daylight allows a proper inspection. Relief that they'd survived another night of Russian bombardment, but sadness. Russia is buoyed. How much longer can this go on?
I woke up to the sound of explosions. First the Shahed drone started buzzing and then the explosions began. Then people started screaming outside. The explosions from the Shahed drones kept coming.
We were all in the shelter because it was so loud. Staying at home would have been suicidal. We went down 10 minutes before, and then there was a loud explosion, and the lights went out in the shelter. People were panicking.
Ukraine's ability to defend itself still relies heavily on US weapons, which President Trump announced this week were now in such short supply that America needed to concentrate on restocking its own supplies. Shorthand, Ukraine simply isn't a priority for him. And it'll be a while before domestic Ukrainian production and European allies can, if ever, fill the breach. Trump is planning to speak with President Zelensky today, having also spoken to President Putin on the phone earlier, but making zero progress.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed with the conversation I had today with President Putin, because I don't think he's there. I don't think he's there. And I'm very disappointed. Well, it's not, I'm just saying, I don't think he's looking to stop. And that's too bad.
Quite the understatement for the man who'd boasted while campaigning to be president that he'd somehow end the carnage in Ukraine within a day.
You're gambling with World War III.
While Zelensky's been careful not to embarrass Trump after their fateful White House meeting earlier this year, a senior Ukrainian official posted on social media this morning that the US president was being humiliated by his Russian counterpart. President Putin plays by his own rules, and Russian TV provides a very different view of his decision to invade. These news anchors repeatedly referring to the, quote, root causes of the war, which Vladimir Putin says are non-negotiable. As far as Putin's concerned, Ukraine can never be part of NATO or expand its military. Sergiev Posad, near Moscow, a Ukrainian drone retaliation, a symbolically important town that's at the heart of the Russian Orthodox Church. The attack cut power lines. There was also at least one civilian injury. Ukraine is fighting back, but make no mistake, Russia's formidable war machine is far from cowed. And with Trump prevaricating about how much he's willing to support Ukraine with crucial air defenses, let alone attack weapons, Putin appears in no mood to back down.
Gentlemen, we had a discussion on this program about a week ago that I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. Remember when the Ukraine came out with a thing, said they've been planning for whole year to attack Russia military infrastructure with going for their fighter jet and all that. And Russia said we'll pay back. They pay back now, the revenge. These guys are not stopping and they're not listening to anyone. They're going for the full blast. So Francis and Linford. The question is they went for Kiev today, the capital city of Ukraine. Are these guys going for regime change? That is the question. You watch a video, what your take? Let me start with you, Francis.
Look, Paul, it shows Russia's military supremacy. Russia is no stranger to controversy, especially respecting the West, America, and its allies. You know, when it comes to imposing its will on it, like telling Russia to stop the war, and Russia is basically learning from what has happened or what is going on in the Middle East with Israel, defending its sovereignty and its national territorial, borders. So strategically, Russia will actually lean on that. It will not come up publicly to see what has happened in the West. I mean, what's happened in the Middle East. The indiscriminatory shelling of the Palestinians and the Iranians. But what is so sad is that these people have kind of family. Russia and Ukraine. It's killing your own brothers, So Russia has gathered 30,000 or more North Korean come to beef up their strength, and the meager air defense system that the West Europeans and America talking about, they cannot stop. The only thing is that Ukraine has to do is to negotiate, and in terms of regime change, that's not going to happen that way. Look, let's be real. You cannot leash or lynch the people of a particular country, Ukraine, and then you want regime change. This will engender that sense of nationalism. They will stand together. They will resist any other form of government that you bring in. So I'll let the floor what to lean for.
Yeah, thank you, Francis. Hey, Linford, before you come in, something interesting because Francis just said about what happened in the Middle East. Do you know that America and Israel said that Iran cannot hold nuclear weapon? Russia is saying Ukraine cannot be part of NATO. So, if what is good for the other people, it's bad for the other guys. What say you on this? I mean, you listen to the video and see. Because the reason why I said, what are these guys going for regime change? In a way, maybe they just want to eliminate Zelensky in a way that then the people will decide who to become their new leader. But then they already taking the portion of Ukraine they wanted. Linford, what say you? You muted.
The situation is very, very slippery and at the same time difficult. I will tell you something. Look, our brothers here, our European brothers, all the people are making that the this and that, they get coalition waiting. No, Russia is just waiting. If any rocket move from any country and drop in Russia, and it is proven that country A in Europe or from the coalition waiting, send it, the same thing that happened in Iran will happen. See, so they made it the smart. So they're relaxing. That's why they acting like nothing is happening in Ukraine. And the particular Francis is saying, oh, this is to prove Russian supremacy. Francis was here on the show, the very show, saying that the situation in Ukraine, Russia cannot do nothing to Ukraine. On this show, that today you know that Russia is supreme.
But listen, Paul, I mean, Olinfo, listen. The kind of supply of Russia has gotten all the since the war. Since the war, Russia has, everybody knows Russia has nukes, but the other ammunition that they're using now, those were supplied later on by North Koreans and the Iranians. You heard Iranian weapons were used.
Let me remind you again. We sat here on the same show. When we said that, I said, even the devil got friends. Russia took our friends, sent NATO, because we talk about it was Russia against NATO. So it was a NATO that was depending on, or people were depending on saying that Russia cannot do nothing. Russia cannot be depleted very quickly of weapons like that. Russia is a whole country. In fact, the largest country by land mass in the entire world. Their army alone, the number of army, they got plenty. Then they've been in war before. Russia is not one novice that yesterday were fighting now. This is a country that fought the whole World War I and II. Okay, so they are prepared. And they say, in time of peace, be prepared. So we saw all of this. I told you that even the devil got friends. So that Russia was going to get friends. And if anything happened, and then people felt that, no, let me tell you, nobody can win war clearly. Even as we were pounding Ukraine last night, Ukraine was also able to pound some part of Russia. So no clear winner in war. Unless maybe you put Liberia against country like America and hand, then now we'll see a real clear winner because you can match all one day. The people who will live will remain American property. But Paul asked the question whether it's a regime change. I'm not thinking whether Zelensky or Putin is interested in regime change in that place. He just want to make sure that he can teach Zelensky lesson that if the people, if I say stop, you stop. Okay? You look at your little brother and you advise him, don't do that, and he continues to do it, you grab it, you twist his hand, you slap it. You're not changing him from being your brother, but let him learn that you are the big brother. So this year, and Paul, he struck a very good point when you guys talk about the Iranian situation and that of Ukraine. So, Putin said, do not be part of NATO because this NATO, they are my enemy. Do not bring the next war to me. And then you felt that you are depending on somebody told you, say, oh no, go and fight this war and we'll back you. And where are those people? Who's dying today? Even if they gave millions of ammunition or millions of dollars, but who's dying? Your people. You see it? So that's why from the onset I said this war was stupid. Zelensky could not have made that decision to be adamant when Russia advised him. No, there are two different things. If somebody tells you go and do this thing, like somebody tell you go and break a point in the bank, when they catch you, I'll be backing you. So the man knows he get all that power to back you. Why he can go break a bank, but you must go break a bank for him? You see? So you got to think. You got to think about yourself. Oh, there's a strong law in nature, self-preservation. That's why even if you and your wife, you're in the kingdom, when the kingdom plus like you try to swim first, you have your own life before you can swim for. That's called self-preservation. So if somebody tells you to go fight a war, you should calculate the damage, the extent of the damage, and the resource that will come to you. But I'm not too sure if Russia wants to put anybody there. Russia can take the whole Ukraine. It will still be under Russia, so why would they want to change regime? Take the whole Ukraine. Hello, grab Zelensky or Zelensky run away, and they take a whole Ukraine. It will be the same.
Yeah.
But I think it's a bad situation, and I would think that people who set this whole fire ablaze should be the one to come. And now you can see the frustration in Trump's face. Because Trump has always boasted that, I can talk to Putin, I can see. And why he won, if you look at that video, when he won on Zelensky, that you are playing with fire, you are playing with World War III. This is what's happening now. And Trump can say, okay, I brought his power to me. He was in the White House there, he didn't listen to me. So I'll move my hand and say, Putin too doesn't want to listen. You see it? And what will happen? who's going to be exposed to danger? So it's a very, very, like I said, slippery situation, but very difficult as well.
But Linford, Trump said, I mean, the journalist said something in that video that Trump is saying the American need to stock up their own weapon because they gone low. They got to build out to defend themselves because they've been supplying Israel, they've been supplying Ukraine. You see it? And they also been supplying the Saudi, the Qataris, all of these people. So they now seeing what the Russians are doing this. Because I want to bring this back to you and Francis. NATO had a summit in The Hague. There was some part last week. And the Secretary General of NATO said something that the reason why they should increase the 5% of their GDP on defense is because Russia now they're producing more arms than ever before. So Russia arm industry have now started, it's a mass production. They're doing it more than ever before. So
Paul, the thing, as we sit and watch all of these things unfolding, what I'm looking at, what is the United Nations doing? And these countries that are doing the thing like America and Russia, they are all members of the permanent, the 5 permanent members they are part of the 5 permanent members of the UN. So what is the UN doing? And so the entire world is going to be weaponized, the proliferation of weapons, because people say all of Europe, the whole European Union or NATO, they say because Russia is producing, and so they themselves producing arms. So you see, when Ukraine, I mean, when Iran say that we too need to have our own arm, and they don't want to do it, this is the reason. Because if you look at all of your neighbors, everybody's preparing. You know, like you live in the town, and everybody they perceive some danger, and people start fixing their roof, people start fixing their walls, mending their houses, and you sitting there, you say, no, let me do something too. So that's why it is necessary that all countries, including my country, Liberia, if we able to get weapons, we get it. Because you don't know what's going to happen. Everybody else is preparing. They say in time of peace, you prepare for war. So everybody preparing. Nobody know what will happen. So why are they stopping certain countries like Iran and other countries from having nuke? Well, they themselves have it, and they are openly saying that they're going to increase their defense spending in order to be prepared. So you mean the rest of the country that they are stopping should be the victims? The war is not fair.
That's the war not fair. Let's move on to Liberia, my dear brother. And to our audience, if you want to chime in something, just say it. Sorry, guys, something on the falling. If you want to drop a comment also on the issue, say it. So, Mama Liberia, guys.
Let me just highlight this one about Pataki. He said this is why the West is very good at setting neighbors at conflict. Yes, that's what they do. So what is the difference? I mean, let's look at it critically, right? What is the difference between Russians and Ukrainians? They got the same names. They see last name, they see first names. Okay. In fact, when I was saying Ukraine, I always thought that all the people there speak Russian, and which is true. Half of them speak Russian. Even not only border, but people because they learn Russians. You see, so these people that are the same. It's like the Guinea pellet and the Liberian pellet, the Guinea mano and the Liberian mano. The Ivorian Gyo and the Liberian Gyo. You put them together, so it's the same. So why are they fighting? Why? I mean, don't they have history that they can go back to? And by way of information, when I was seeing the last time I was in Ukraine, I took that picture. I always posting it. I went to one of their defense or I think military museum, okay, where they have a big tower called Motherland, the big Lady Tower, Motherland. One of there's a museum. I went there. And they've been taken part in war before, and that was under the Russian, when they were part of Russia still. So they should know that they are the same. But again, let's move on. This is what they decided to do, their leadership.
Right. So let's take a quick commercial break and then we dive into Liberia. And to our audience, the question we have on the floor today is, why is it Samuel 12 still wearing Kosu in Monrovia and calling press conference? This guy came to Liberia to face justice. Why is he still hanging about? People who stole 29,000 barrels of oil were put in jail a few days and were released on bond. But this big fish, why is he still hanging about? This is the question we want your view on Samuel 12. He had a press conference today. We'll be looking at Samuel 12. Then the question also here that we need your input on this one as well before we take a commercial break is this question. The American Donald Trump invited 5 presidents from West Africa, including Liberian president, our own Joseph Numa Baka, Excellency. Why these 5? Something cooking, guys. Something cooking. So this is the question on the menu today. Give us your view or call in. Why Samuel 12 is still hanging about in Kosu Cody press conference? Want to know. Let's take a quick commercial break. When we come out, we'll be diving straight into Samuel 12.
Di Lorenzo, G Grace. Hems vocal, Liberia number 1 vocal. Liberia number 1, right? Okay.
The phrase, a new sheriff is in town, does not only belong to law enforcement. How about the introduction of Liberia's premier vodka, a quality and customized liquor for all occasions? Try the flavor of your choice. Ham's Vodka, Ham's Honey, Ham's Bitter, and Ham's Original Vodka. Ham's Vodka has no hangover. That's why they say Papa drank Mama happy. Ham's Vodka is sold in all stores, shops, supermarkets, and entertainment centers in Liberia. For wholesale, contact Ham's Vodka at 0777 001114, 0777 000 We can also be reached via social media on Facebook and IG at Ham's Vodka or www.hansvodka.com. In the United States, please contact Hans North America Incorporated at 610-543-9289, 484-888-1622, 484-755-8411. Hans Vodka is approved by the U.S. federal government. Hans Vodka brings out the real man in you.
I tell you in my boy and my blood. Every time when I stay on the block, everybody knows it. We are stand. And forgot that number 1. Oh, from Liberia all around. In supermarket store and everywhere. And forgot that number 1. Oh.
Ham's Vodka, Papa Dream, Mama Happy. Welcome to the bottom line discussion. Full. This is the question today. Samuel 12. The brother had a press conference today, and he went for Stanton Wollaspoon. That then telling the public that Samuel 12 will be arrested. And the question is, why is it Samuel 12 that the most talk about Samuel 12 that the government wanted? He came to Liberia to face justice. Why is this guy not facing justice? What happened to Samuel 12? Why is he still around wearing kosu? This is the question to our audience. We need your input. Linford, you read this story. If you follow the press conference today or you read the story, Samuel 12 had a press conference today, and he talked about the WFP. I think it's the World
Food Program.
Yeah. So take us through this thing, and then
to answer your question, or to answer that question that you're raising, why is Samuel 12 still wearing kosu? By the way, I like a tie in the coat, Yeah, I mean the entire I like him, man, place him, man. When he was finance minister, you're not like deal. Now you look all right. But I want to let you know something. That Samuel 12, if these people indeed, if they had real case against Samuel 12 by now, he will be in prison. But because it seems as though they were acting on instinct, or just they say. Now listen, something happened a few days ago involving Mirabro and Maxwell Sarkinia and all those people. Upon accusation or upon request from the TAC, right away, these people they were whisked off. Off from their houses and taken to court, and then from there straight to jail until they go file bond. You see, so if this was the case, why is it that Samuel Twain is still moving around? I wonder. I can't answer that question, sir. I think I'll ask the same question. But something will tell you that maybe they do not have sufficient case against Samuel Twain, or they I don't know, or they say gathering information or evidence against him. It's hard to say, because and the reason I know why you're asking that question. I know the background from where you're asking that question is because the Samuel Twain issue was publicized so much, they threatened so much as usual. The Unity Party, that's one thing they good at. They put a threat, the issue threat. I remember during the election, before the election was even held, the now president, Kennedy Bouaka, at the time, threatened that if anybody cheat or if anything happens, if the UP doesn't win, there will be no Liberia. So they put to issue threat. And they were threat all the players, but some threat, we'll jail him, we'll lock him up, and all these things. So why is it that the man is in Monrovia now, we can see him in jail, that he even called in press conference? So I think that question should go directly to the government instead of the ordinary people.
Well, the thing is, Linford, we have our own opinion on issue, although we are not legal luminary in the house here, but the issue was this thing was heavily publicized at Samuel Twain. Even when he arrived, everybody said, yeah, this government going to prosecute this guy. And it been how many months now? The man just in the town. He's just there. So, welcome, Padole. Only should me put this down, but this is the question we have. Why is it Samuel Twain now not getting the justice for Liberians to be happy to see this guy going behind bar? The issue that he was the finance minister and a lot of money got. Remember the $15 million thing, or the 16 billion or something cycle, the 25 million mopper exercise that this guy was going to face with the man in the country. Why is the delay? We want to see this guy in court. We want to drink our Jack Daniel to see Samuel Twain behind bar. We want to see how they can get some of the money. Why is it Samuel Twain still hanging about wearing coat to a court press conference? Francis, talk to us. Why?
Well, I think it's just simple as ABC. The matter is in court. Samuel Twain had a conference organized, arranged, what do you call it?
But all press conferences are organized and arranged.
It was, orchestrated by the CDC youth wing as a way to galvanize their base and stuff. And also they created a platform for platitudes for Samuel 12 to go about his usual jargons and talk. The matter is in court.
No excuse. You are the government. You're supposed to be prosecuting the man. That's the question I'm asking. Why is he out?
The matter is in court. A matter in court is not being prosecuted. It is being prosecuted. So, why we cherry pick events? If this man was brought he came to the country, he was forced to come to the country. He did not come on his own will, because they had an extradition treaty, extradition warning out there for him at arrest. He came to the country. He went through the legal process, was denied bail. The bail was finally allowed by the judge, and the matter is in court. So we cannot jump here to conclusion that the government has not done anything, and it's wrong. The government has prosecuted the man. The man is in court. We are waiting for the court to come up with its verdict. The grand jury have been being arraigned to for the whole case. So
Wow.
yeah. So I won't say much about the case because the case is in court.
The case is in
That's
court.
why someone you come on and say all you want to say. You want to defend and say he didn't pay the whole money you were there. But at the end of the day, the judge and the jury will decide his fate.
It's good, Padole. Welcome to the bottom line discussion. And it's good that you're here because you work in the Justice Department before. We know that a lot of cases on the docket in the court that we know about, but other cases, boom, people were caught, they were sent to prison, no waste of time, and then the stand body got it out.
But it's not a case, Paul.
Yeah, listen
the
now.
same process. All people went through. Mary Bob, Senator went through the same process. He was arraigned, was opposing Jay. He came out, he paid the bond, and he's out there awaiting the trial.
Yeah. Can I say something here, please?
Yeah. The question here, Padole.
Yeah.
How the access recovery team that are going to get access for people, they bend behind people, they sending people to jail. There's big fish in the house now that the government were asking Africans to send him back. They have all the evidence. Why is the delay? This is the guy they're supposed to send the president on that we Liberian say, yes, this is where the United Party came from.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. There's something in the code that they can speed us up the big cases and bypass all the other cases.
So what happened to the which one? Again for you?
I think you have said whatever you want to say, isn't it?
So, Padole, yeah, why say you on this case?
Yeah, I think Francis have said whatever he wanted to say. Can I say something here? You see, we're not in Liberia, but we hear everything that's going on, more especially about this kind of important situation that's going on in our country, more especially Senator saga. You see, what I do observe in this Senator cases is this. Because I listen to, I got it here. If someone want to send it, if someone want me to send it to them, I can send it to them because I recorded it and I keep it. Senator make a press conference today. He did make several statements. He did link certain elements within this oppression government to what is very need to be looked into today. And he even saying that instead of going after him, these people are supposed to be called upon to ask. But the government is not doing it. He said that I got it recording here. If anybody wants it, I can forward it to you. But what I see as a senior citizens of our countries and the work around the law enforcement sectors, that to be realistic, the Unity Party government is the way he's running the judicial system is very scary. Because you see what happened as a responsible government, more especially the kind of government that in our country now, democratically elected by the people to serve the people. When you take the power, I think you're supposed to do the right thing to protect and defend the citizens of the country. Do not cherry pick or do not rush to prosecute people and whatever when you know that you don't have sufficient evidence to substantiate what are you going after. In Samuel 12 case, several times, as Francis just said, the brother went to the court. The man took a bond. The bond had been granted. He's on bail. Case was scheduled to be heard. When they went there, the government said they will stay looking for certain evidence here and there and also they postpone the case. You know how many times they not postpone the case, government? More than 3 good times. The man who is a lawyer or Samuel Turf, I know him very well, he's my friend. The government playing with the Liberian people, which is not correct. Everybody eager to see whoever classified as a common criminal in our country to see them behind the bar, to be prosecuted and to show as a deterrent to the other people. But this government is not doing that. Why? This question will go to Francis so he and his government can answer this question to us. Please, because here is the situation here. We want to make sure that all those, because we see so many corruption King Kong in that country, and they're going free. And everybody know the physical evidence is available physically that these people deserve to be interrogated. And they have not even been touched. So obviously, I don't really know why the unity party.
So you raised an issue here. Say Samuel Tuer and his teams are going to court on several occasions, and the government sent them back.
Government.
Francis, you said something here that there are other cases there, but if this people be invited to court, then they say you'll go home.
More than 3 good times.
This is not wrong.
You know how long the case been? It's about a year now. The case have been on, it's about a year now. More than 3 good times, the government said, no, we're not ready for the case yet. 3 good times. Why?
That's the question we're asking.
We know that you are not ready for what announcements many everywhere, even going as far as negotiating for extra that of this man for Africa. The man got his property and his family in Africa. Eh?
So this is the question we're asking.
The man to come to the country to face it. Because the man come now, you can't able to prosecute the man. You don't have no evidence. Why? Unity people. Francis, please, can you answer the question for us, please?
My only response to you would be that the matter is in court. The great United Kingdom you live in, they still have cases that have been going on for 2 to 3 years. It's still on the deck. They have cases when your prosecutor, the team says, due to certain reasons, they ask the judge to postpone the case for another time. It does not mean they do not have overwhelming evidence. First thing first, they would never have gone at the length they have gone to indict Mr. Tuer. Simple as that. This is no cherry picking. I don't understand what you people want. If you go after people who allegedly or in Paul Walsh, who he says stole government resources, then you guys say it's witch hunt. For certain people, it's witch hunt. Certain people is not. So it's a high level of conjectures here, and on certain what you will call
Francis, point of information, please. Point of information. I want you to realize that when a case is on the docket for prosecution, for a year. They have been postponed on certain occasions. And after certain number of years, the case cannot be handled. Don't you know that that case can be dismissed and thrown out of courtroom? You know that?
It can be. It's a fact.
Okay. So that's why I wanted you to. All
So,
right.
leave for you whole friends say you hope a dolly. Samuel Taylor going to court.
Yeah.
And the government have propounded evidence on him that they requested for him to come home. They say go tomorrow, go home. When ready, yeah, go home. We stay building up this case, go home. Not once, but 3 times, according to Padoli. So if you get all the evidence, the man can't go. Why can't you just nail this guy? Because we Liberia, we ensure to see somebody from George Weah government going to prison because they had the prosecute Unity Party. They refused. For me, I want Samuel to go to jail to teach them lesson that there is no friendship in politics. Why you have all the evidence and then you keep delaying the case and Liberians are anxious. You remember people were jubilating when they grab Mary Brew and order and send them to prison because they said this is the way the government going. The government is going beyond people. But Samuel to have been in our country long before the resting came up, and they stay hanging. This is why I'm asking: why is the delay? Why is Samuel 12?
Okay, let me let me take it quick before I forget. You see, this government, the president that leads this government, when you were in the CPP, they coined this lie and said Mr. Cummings fingered document, and they had it on for complete 1 year. They went to court. They couldn't produce anything. The part of the document that was fingered, nobody could produce it. And you want to tell me if this president becomes president, that he got all the security apparatus, he got the judiciary, he got everything under his control. You think they're gonna do anything straight? It will all be lies. Because they will look at somebody for long and say, no, they may will not certify with him. They may like this. But in as much as Joe Walker, then who said Mr. Cummings falsified document, he fingered it, they couldn't show the play he falsified, they couldn't show the part of the document he fingered. And this man is president today, what do you expect? Now, they were jubilating. Samuel 12 is in the country. They can't do nothing. They grab people for arrest and put them in jail. Now, we're hearing that they are going on the ground and apologizing to Mary Brown and other people. They're going back to go apologize. So you see, when we're small, Christmas Day or any big occasion, say, or catch a chicken, so we can kill it. And you run it behind the chicken, you get racked. Your hack cut on that chicken, the chicken can be right from you miss it because your hack cut on it. You're not taking time to email, but because right in your reach, you think you can kill it one time. When you throw it right, you miss the chicken and chicken fly on the other side. That's what the people do, right? They are hack cutting on via people because that's what they've been thinking. Oh, United Party or there, Ellen Johnson said he was doing our thing, was seeing our money, then we actually he intercepted us. So the one who now move now, we'll put here, all people in jail, the money, what was so still didn't want story, we'll put in jail. And they can't prove anything. If you can go behind people for rights, that people finish eating long time, then you get somebody who supposedly stole money, and you get a bag of money, and the person right for you can't jail him, but the people who will say stole rights long time, the referee long time, they the one you're putting in jail. And the man who's supposed to have the bag of money, he right for you. No, the government is just a toy government, let me tell you. Have you seen children playing with toy gun? That's it. They just want to scare somebody, but this is a toy government. You see, and the government will shoot itself in the leg the way they rushing on people. The end time, people will be suing them afterwards, and they will spend for nothing money. I'm not defending Tue. I know Tue there. No, nobody can be found a minister and say they didn't do nothing.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, nobody can be found a minister, they didn't do nothing. But the way the government is going about it, they might make the case to look ugly, and Tue might even have an upper hand. Because
even I'm not cutting Alamfo. Even this man here, this guy here, the Maggie Senator, Maggie. Is one the King Kong. Corruption King Kong. Up to now, they're not even accountable. Yeah? This is the
let me tell you one thing.
Secret.
For Maggie, he confessed to A.
You
Maggie
confess
to A. We get it right here.
What happened? Nobody saying which one here, blah, blah, blah. They play where some of us saying that which one is this.
Let me tell you one thing.
When we went for,
let me tell you one thing. What the UP people are doing, they are setting very bad precedents. They gotta slow down and get their acts together. No, you still got 3.5 more years. Within 3.5 more years, you can take the half year and do all your research, get all your information. Key people who are connected to those people, get some key information like account number, extra account number, or where money was used, received, and everything. But mere allegation, we all know that the guys stole. There's not. I mean, Maggie, war in MPP with us, and that millionaire today, where you get money from in 6 years' time. But the way if you rush on the people, you will spoil the whole thing. Get key information. You got a government. You got everybody. You got a job. In fact, between now and next year, you'll be appointing all of the judges on the Supreme Court. So. So you have everything. You get a house, you get a Senate, you get the Supreme Court. So what will you worry about? You're relaxed. But you're rush. People turn around and sue you.
Right.
And there are double cases in court.
Thank you, Linford. So I don't know, we're going to shoot. Our friend say you want to say something before we move to the other topic quickly?
No, Paul, I don't have anything to say. I mean, because
all right.
Nothing I would say will, we try to make these my fellow panelists understand that the matter is in court, and it takes time for the cases to come up. For certain people, it want to be fast track. In your opinion, certain people, I mean, it should be a normal process. So, yeah, but the matter is in court. It all says that the government has taken a decision to fight corruption, and TUA is no exception.
Okay.
We have this day.
Great.
So, but Francis, you should realize that if you matter in court, if the government mismanage the court with Syria, and the court the case can slip in their hand, you know that? The
yeah, but Francis said it. He said it. So, Padre, we're going to move on. And the government, I think they should speed it with this case. Let's see if some of the guys behind bars who can say, yes, they're doing something. I really wanted to punish Georgia government for what they did. But if these guys get all the evidence while they're sitting back, that's my concern here. Now, the next topic here, which should be our last topic for the day, is this one here. Linford, you need to come back. This is President Boyka and 4 other presidents from West Africa was invited by Donald Trump. And the question here is, why these 5? We can only speculate. We don't know what the Americans calling them for. But then there is a smoking gun in West Africa that people are talking about. So in the middle of that picture, there's Pentagon headquarters, and then the 5 are being surrounded. Why these 5 from West Africa? Is it because on the Sahel nation, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger? This is the talking point. We don't know. Why were they invited? Just only those 5 from West Africa. Is there something here that we come in witness?
So, Paul, before I leave quickly, let me just give my view on the what I've gathered. From various political commentators and geopolitical analysts.
Mm-hmm.
And what I figure out, what I've read. Look, first thing, the five guys, the five countries that it borders on America's interests, America's security interests. And for Liberia uh, was elected as a non-permanent member on the Security Council, and Liberia will be flexing some influence there, and America will want Liberian support again. You, you remember that Liberia voted against some of the resolutions that was in favor of America, like the war in the Gaza and some other resolutions that were passed. So I guess Trump is calling President Boycott there to reiterate Liberia's connections to America and America's interest, that Liberia should be there to support America's interests. And listen, and Americans are not just stupid people. They are following. They have more intelligence. They're following Liberia trend. Liberia have been going to China. Chinese are coming in, investing in Liberia and doing a lot of stuff in Liberia. So America wants to try to get closer. And Trump is a man. He's a transactionary president. So he will call these people for something, in exchange for America's security. Senegal has the biggest base in West Africa that has American American equipment there. So that's a strategic partner that is there to help fight and stop the encroachment of what you call it, jihadists, the groups, and what you call it, loyalists of maybe to Al Qaeda and some other groups. So Senegal is a major force there. In the called Mauritania, Gabon, who has a lot of oil. Gabon, the Chinese and the Russians are coming closer to Gabon as well. So America wants to protect its interest there as well in terms of exchange of maybe weapons or national security, like what they have offered other countries. Mauritania is also there in the Sahel. Mauritania is in the middle. Is among the countries that Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali. They are there. These countries have gravitated towards Russia, and so I guess America wants to maintain its position. And Mauritania is one of the biggest countries, and it's also a feeding ground for jihadists, insurgency in West Africa. The gas splinter groups there. So I think these are basically concerns. It's nothing more than that. It's just about America, protect American interests, and try to keep these countries on their toes. I hope our president, before I leave, I hope our president will be man enough to ask hard questions and demands something in exchange. Because Trump would definitely he will want to propose something in exchange, and I hope our president you have to consult those who are well versed in foreign policies and diplomacy, and so international relations, so we can get the best out of that meeting. Right. I'll thank you guys. I have to leave, and I'll be following.
Thank you, Francis. Thank you, and have a pleasant good evening. Linford, let me put a map here. Francis just said something about American interest. If you look at the map, you see Mali in the middle there, Mauritania on the other side, Burkina Faso in the purple, down there. Then on the other side is Niger. Those countries are getting to be powerful for some reason by the support of the Russians. And taking what Francis said about American interest, this country called Liberia have always been puppet to America. We all know that we from Liberia, we can say it's not a hidden secret. Now, name for five of these people, in my mind, in my opinion, five puppet countries have been invited to meet Donald Trump. My question is why? Do they want to cause problems for the Sahel nation? That's the question I
You
want to
know,
ask.
when I hear the invited 5 countries, look, let me tell you, America, America is a country that will look at you and grade you according to the way you appear, the way you do things, and the way you are. Now, listen. Sometimes when they get ready, they send for Nigerian president. He goes alone. Trump sent for what about Zelensky? He went alone. He didn't go with a group of no. The guys, the people that they invited, they are going to they carrying them as a team. They sit down, maybe in the theater, they put the TV on, or somebody doing the PowerPoint and telling them, giving the instruction. Okay, typical African leader because they are all hungry countries. Maybe apart from Mauritania, I don't know what Mauritania got decided on. But the president of Senegal, Bissori Faye, is a young boy and young man, inexperienced to some extent when it comes to government. Okay, and then he inherits this huge American base in Senegal that was there before he became president. What do you expect of him? The first thing, they're going to use a religious theory on him. Trump is a seasoned guy. He's going to use the America as usual. They got a policy, their blueprint for policy, which is the template for both Republicans and Democrats, no matter who they are. They get out a template that all of them use as a playbook. They show dominance. So they see the young innocent boy who inherit this huge American base in West Africa. They say, no, listen, we are giving you instruction. You will be there. And this is what we want you to do. Do not do it otherwise. Just straight instruction. That's what they're going for. They're not going to go asking what you want or what can we do. No. Okay, so we come to Gabon. Bryce Oligui Nguema, whose father, Dennis Sassou Nguema, was president for several years and he took over. This guy is a dictator. He comes from a dictatorial family. They have been ruling our country for years. And so the first instruction they're going to give him is, no, listen, we know how you came to power. And he came to power, I think, in 2018 or one of the years, just recently. So they will tell him, we know how your father did this country here. And we're coming for you. If you don't do what we want you to do. And of course, it will be security interest as well. Okay? It will be security interest. Because if you show the map again, Paul, let me show you something. On this map, you see Guinea-Bissau is way on the other side. Okay? Senegal right there. And then you see Mauritania up there. So Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, they're on the other side. So Guinea-Bissau, you can take it down, Paul. Guinea-Bissau could be the next place of influence for the Sahel. Okay, the same way Mauritania could be influenced by the Sahel because they share border Mali. You see it? So, and the Chinese and the Russian, they are moving in. So then America is trying to use the same tactic they used on Ukraine. Do not let these people come in. So we want to solidify our position with you. And that would be, I think, a big mistake if these presidents go and want to play double-handed game. Because they will say, okay, yeah, we'll be with you, America, then at the same time we'll be with the Chinese, and there's where the tension will come from. And who's going to suffer? They the one will suffer. So you look at Mauritanian president Mohamed Ould Ghazouani is an elderly man. So they're going to frighten him. You know, I told you about the religious children, right? The method that religion use, they will threaten you. They will say, if you don't do that, this will happen to you. Right away, you get afraid. So Trump will say, no, listen, we already know your country is a breeding ground for terrorism. Okay? So the way we got the first thing they will begin to refer to the Sahel countries as terrorist countries. When the terrorist countries are border with you and the Russians are coming, we want you to do this. This is what we need to do. Serve our interest. We will protect you. They will always come with that thing, like we will protect you. These people have been assisting for years. Only for you to come at a certain time and tell them we will protect you because we see danger coming. So that probably they might convince him. But America is not going to dish out money to any of these countries. Trust me. So then we get Guinea-Bissau. I talked about him before. Sissoko, Omari Sissoko, Ebola. He's a much younger man as well. But Guinea-Bissau, being situated, ideally situated, and very close to the Sahel region, the fear is that they could pull over to them. So all these countries, and then Liberia, our own Liberia part, forget it. You know, I'm not sure if this president is going to be awake. In fact, during that meeting, he just made mistake and fall asleep. So I call him out, and they got to deploy high quality diplomacy in this meeting that we're going to have, whether it's a meeting or it's going to be some lecture room. Because the man they're dealing with is not a traditional politician. You know, I heard the president went to the American embassy to celebrate July 4th. You know, the guy celebrated in advance, right? He went there and he was reading all the law thing. We are America have tradition. No, Trump is not going to go look at your traditional, relationship you get with America from 1847 or 1822. No. Trump is up to the point. You still want to be our friend, or you want the Chinese to come? And Liberia have always had its own problem with the Chinese people, even with the Chinese themselves, because we have always had this, the two-China policy, which had not worked for us. So a third party coming in, which is America. In fact, that the two-China policy, the reason why it has not worked is because of America. Okay? And then America is taking the forefront now, so it's going to be tough. It's going to be a very tough meeting. If you're going to have one-on-one, I will urge the president to be very sharp. And like Francis said, let the president take some tough decisions. Yes, we have been your traditional friends. Yes, at one point, right after the Cold War, you have your major spy equipment in our country, the Omega Tower. But since it became useless at a certain point because of technology, you have to take it down. Yes, we are still there to be on your side, but we are a sovereign country. Can we also decide for ourselves certain things? You know, you can't put it because there's a bargaining thing. And Trump is a man who he respects Zelensky. They say you have a meeting again, according to that video he played. You have a meeting with Zelensky again. But he let people to tell the fact, you know. So I hope the president will be open enough. He should this time not a soft thing, American child, this and that. Nonsense. Try not thinking about that. Your American child from 1822 all the way to now. Okay? We're talking about what America can get from you now, or what you can get from America now. So the president will go to the county table. Yes, we are America's stepchild. Yes, we are related to America. Yes, but America, what you want us to do for you? And what can we do for you? And can you allow us to also be able to make our own decisions?
Let me hold their lane for, because while talking, something came to my mind. Pan-Africanists that the Sahel nations are pushing, with Liberia, Guinea-Bissau, and Senegal, Gabon, will they be the spoiler for this thing that is taking place? Because that's what the Americans, we're only speculating here. They could be the spoiler. Liberia always spoiler. And for our people here, to recognize Israel as a nation, it was Liberia that broke the tie. That what made Israel today. So Liberia always stand with the West. Would it be a spoiler here if for some reason to go after the Sahel nation?
Yeah.
We have America have no more interest in Liberia. There's no more Omega Tower they use as security. But because Liberia have always been a puppet to America, would it be a spoiler here? Or it could be something else that they're inviting the 5 nations for. Because remember too, Guinea-Bissau, you see, so is one of the drugs hub for West Africa. And there are a lot of drugs in Liberia. That could be because drugs also play a role in America. It comes from Colombia, it comes from West Africa, then they send it back. We're not speculating here. It could be that because of the drug situation that America is now going after these 5 countries to do something. It's not a thought. Or to stick with these 5 that we're now going to do something because General Langley came out that he wanted to get rid of who? Tuareg, because Abraham Tuareg, because he is the ringleader, that he using his country resources to enriching himself and the military. And the whole war went, I said, no, they want to assassinate him. With Liberia and the other 5 countries be the breeding ground for them going after that. That is the question.
Yeah. Before Padoli comes in, Padoli, you will take it over, but let me just say something if I forget. You see, that's what I said. This thing is going to be complicated for those leaders. Now, and I still want to maintain this point that I do know whether it's going to be the normal classroom kind of lecture where you sit down and they tell you, they just give you instruction, or is it going to be like, because it's not going to be on one-on-one something. It's not. I don't know how they're going to design it, but if it is by law, by any inch of law, that it is a one-on-one meeting, that's time for the presidents that they are that they are selected to go. That's time for them to put their card on the table as well. Okay, so let's say it's a one-on-one event, right? Where Trump will be meeting with them one by one. So President Walker, we are saying, according to maybe what we tell him, we are saying that you are all be our traditional friend. So we want to destroy the Sahel. So we want you to help us to build our military in your country. And doing that also, I see some danger. You know, I watch other social media and people were supporting it. Yeah, and let the president tell the American to kind of build their bases. No, listen, American base being in your country, what benefit does it do for your country? Nothing, nada. It doesn't do any benefit for your country. Is that no? Listen, what if any country is fighting America and then the war is getting tough on America and then they pack all that thing and leave your country and the country that they are fighting is strong enough and say, okay, saying you are breeding them coming for you. What will you do? Yeah, you can't do nothing. So some people thinking that, if America can build that base, let the president agree that America will build that base, this and that. It can't help you. We have had American bases before. The Raw International Airfield there. Enough for Liberia, the American built it. The Freeport, the American built it. Okay? If you fly along the Atlantic Ocean, they're coming from RIA, going all the way to Buchanan, you see some PP tankers that stay in that forest. I flew in that plane in 1997 with Dr. Peter Coben from Montreal all the way to Sano. We were on a vaccination campaign, the polio vaccination campaign. And you could see those tankers. They are staying there from World War I and World War II. All for America. What did we get? Nothing. The Omega Tower, they're all along. What did we get? Nothing. When the Omega Tower became useless, what they did, they turned over to the Liberian government. What we're going to do with Omega Tower? They had to take it down where they carry all the iron. You see it? So I think it's a very tough thing. But Padoli, you can take it over.
So Padoli, before you come in, I want you to conclude on this too. Let me put this there. General Langley made a statement, and the statement he made that they want to get rid of this guy in Burkina Faso. And I want you to look at it from that point. So people in Liberia, when the news came that, Donald Trump invited Joseph Boyka, the Unity Party people were jubilating like it's a big thing. Like we haven't had Liberian president won a White House before. George Weah went there as well. But when Joshua went, they sent him to the place here to go for questioning. In the middle of this picture, that is Pentagon. That's the security place there. So the person who did the graphic design asking question, why these 5 people, are they being invited by Donald Trump, or will they go to Pentagon to get instruction? That is the question, Padole.
Thank you. Can I say one or two things that I think I have an idea of? Basically, I will start from Senegal. Senegal have a U.S. military base, and also had a French military base before. Massive. Senegal was used by French Algiers, West African central point, to colonize the other West African state. Senegal was their headquarters. The first governor in Senegal was a French person. Even the first president of Senegal was a French national, Emperor Senghor. He was a French national. He was adopted by the French people and taken to France. He grew up there. He became a French national. Then he went to school there. He got educated. And they bring him back to Senegal to become president. When this new administration took over, they asked the French military base to leave Senegal. They had left. I think the American base stayed there. I got no idea on whether they stayed there or they asking them to leave. I don't know. But if these people can be brave to look at their colonial master and say, leave our country, what's about someone who was not their colonial master? It's possible. Maybe that's the reason they're trying to call Senegal to negotiate, because they are radical. The government are there now, they are a radical group. That's what I know about Senegal. Country we call Liberia, we all know Liberia. Even you tell Liberia man, you know he got the capacity, he got the money, he got the power. You say, no, you're not going to America. Then you finish with him, you finish that. You have not gone to the grave yet, but you dare completely. So anything America tell us to do, we will do it. Even the government say, I know I'm not doing it, the citizen will demonstrate and grab the government and beat the government for that, which I know of about Liberia. We had a rumor that the Americans were trying to establish their military base in Liberia. I don't know how true is that. It's a rumor. I don't got no confirmation information on that. That is a Liberia situation. But like to buttress what both of you just said previously, Liberia have good military arrangement with America. Even Camp 72nd were controlled by the American soldiers. They were based in there. That Camp 72nd there, to Pinsway. The American citizens were there. When the military took over, that's the time you start seeing the typical Liberian soldiers controlling that place. But before then, there was the American soldier used to be there. Kianama, you had an American soldier there. Brawafi was their headquarters during World War II. So what do we get out of it? Nothing. Just unnecessary suffering. They only gave up a uniform. That's it. They gave up from it. For Liberia, anything America call them and tell them, be happy with it, and they will do it, definitely. That could be the reason why they inviting our president to go and arrange whether they can organize or bills in our country. Gabon, Land Force and Paul is one of the rich countries. Very, very rich, but undeveloped. is down to zero. Liberia even better than Gabon in terms of infrastructure development. Gabon. But there's no country in the entire Sahara there that rich compared to Gabon. Anything you think on, they get it. Oil, timber, everything.
So Padole, so you saying here it could be that maybe the American have discovered some kind of in Liberia because Liberia don't have anything. They pretty soon all the iron will be depleted.
No, Liberia, what Liberia got?
Or maybe they have found something in Liberia that what they call it there is that because we're only speculating here to find out.
We're only speculating, but we don't have no physical evidence to say this is a actual story. But we're just speculating. But what happened to Gabon? I believe that the Americans want to take over Gabon because the previous administration that was there, they know who you're talking about. It was an abductor child of the past regime. That their nephew, the man who is there now, is a nephew of the former leadership. You understand? So they can easily use this man to control that place because the place is rich. And France is losing grip on Africa because of the leadership in France right now. Losing grip. So America can use that as an opportunity to sneak that place up. Gabon. Guinea-Bissau is the #1 drug trafficking center. #1 drug trafficking center in West Africa. So maybe they want to set their base down there to control the trafficking of the drug. Because right now, there is a conflict between America and Colombia. Serious conflict between them. Even they withdraw their ambassador from the both countries. America has withdrawn her ambassadors. Ambassador will call her ambassador from Colombia, and Colombia have withdrawn her ambassador from America. There's a conflict between them because Colombia accused America, some of the lawmakers, some of the senators and things there, that they are behind the attempted coup that just missed the president. So that row between the end, Colombia known as a major drug trafficking area. There's a guy in Colombia supposed to be extradited to America for prosecution. Colombia government refused. They could use Guinea-Bissau as some of the area where to track down and then the free flow of the drug. That's my opinions on that thing there. Mauritania is the richest country in terms of fishery. There's no country in West Africa that got fish compared to Mauritania. One. Number two, the terrorists are in the middle of the deserts, supported by Mauritania against Mali. And Mali is now not in good relations with the West. So all these things there, these are securities or strategies trying to put together how to protect. America is the West, they always think ahead of time. When you see something is getting off hand, we go there to make sure that they grab this thing there.
Right. So Dolly, thank you. I just want to bring Linford in here before we close on the one. Linford, the West don't like to see Africans develop. We're talking about they putting 5% to increase their military budget on producing arms. They seen there's a movement in the Sahel region that is these guys are doing something that the West don't like. And we have these puppet countries around West Africa, puppet leaders, I will say this. Isn't this is the new colonialism playbook that will go for the weakest country, the countries that beg, like Liberia, for example, that cannot produce or do anything to generate its own money, or will live on donors. Isn't this is the time that is a perfect playbook for America to play Liberia in this situation, because Liberia not able to move and do something on its own. We're always begging for back arrest. Isn't this is where country that Liberia can be caught up and give their birthright to somebody?
Here is your government jailing former government officials for beggar rights.
Yeah, beggar right from our country.
Your country.
Even maybe right.
Your whole country, the jailing former government officials for beggar right. Can you imagine? So, no, I told you earlier on that this meeting will be very crucial for President Bouakai. I remember 1997. We had traveled to Guinea on a Monday with Taylor. He went to meet the Guinean president. We returned to Monrovia the same day. The next day was Tuesday. Then the following day, Wednesday, we went to Abuja. We were in Abuja when we were supposed to spend 3 days in Abuja because everything was set in the hotel, everything was booked. So we left Victor Malo at the airport. The former ECOMOFI commander, they all came to escort the president. But when we got to Abuja, the president went and he was in a meeting with, that time it was Abacha and his cabinet. And we all were outside. You can see them inside, through the glass. We were outside the whole waiting. Then all of a sudden, they see Victor Malo that we left in Monrovia. He came, he passed. In fact, we started arguing. It was our friend who recognized him, but you were not in military uniform, you were in Agbada. And then the guy said, "Oh, but General Malo, we left the man, we'll be here." Only for that guy to go inside there and announce the death of Doki. And the whole continent in that room, because we're standing outside looking at the glass room, the whole atmosphere changed. And Joe Molwa came outside. He said, "Gentlemen, we'll be going back tomorrow. The trip is cut short." He said, "What happened?" He said, "I can't tell you guys." Until after the meeting finished, Taylor himself came outside and said, "Okay, guys, you can retire to your various hotels and sleep. We're leaving early morning tomorrow. We got emergency back at home." Say, we didn't know. We thought it was some guy want to take over the war. Until later on in the night before we got the information that the phone to keep back. The next morning, we were only 2 journalists from Liberia with one cameraman, me and the late Paul Samuels from Radio Monrovia. We interviewed General Abacha. The first time I ever saw that man alive and to talk to him. The guy,
General Abacha?
Lovely, that we had to go sit down close to him. I sat down on the floor. We were in the sofa like this, right to the airport. I sat down like this, close to him. We were showing the microphone to him. We asked only 4 questions. Paul Samuel asked 2. I asked 2. The last question, I want to ask the press secretary in that microphone. He said, "Enough is enough." Because Abacha, you look at the guy. That was a tough leader. But guess what? Concerning Toki's death, I'm telling you this story to let you know that leaders can find themselves in certain circumstances that are very, very, very difficult. And that's one of them that President Bouakai is going for. Concerning Toki death, you know what Abacha told Taylor? He said, "You just became president. This is the first trial for your government. Make sure that you can find the killers of Doki, or else this will create problems for you politically." That was the last advice Abacha gave Taylor, right in there, on the sofa. And we left. So I'm saying this to let you know that Bouakai is going to meet. I don't know, and that's why I'm still confused whether this is going to be a one-on-one meeting where or it's going to be a group thing where you get instruction, where maybe you put your hand out to ask. But I think Trump has a style of dealing with a group of leaders. Or if you watch during the peace deal that he had with Congo and Rwanda a few days,
yeah.
If you witnessed it, you saw that he was interacting with all of them in the open, right? He gave the foreign minister of Congo the opportunity to speak that lady. Then he gave the foreign minister of Rwanda the opportunity to speak. And he even, had something we call that they will tip off with the, with the journalists, the African journalists. You see it? So if that would be the case, where the people will have the opportunity to ask him questions, then the leaders that they are inviting, especially President Bouakai, should be very smart to put some key things on the table. But if it's just going to be the style where they invite you, they tell you what to do, okay? They put you all down. Because normally they can send put them in one bus and carry them. Maybe they'll send one bus for them from the airport, all of them inside carry them. And say, you sit down in the chair there. Everybody sit down in one chair, and then the names will talk to you. I don't think Trump will even waste the time to talk to them because Trump already called African countries, single countries. So they might send one defense official or some group, somebody to come and talk to them and just lecture them, tell them what you're supposed to do. And then when they finish lecturing your own group, then it's okay, you're supposed to come for some briefing. If they do that, fine. But it's a very, very serious situation.
Let me speculate. Let me speculate in this matter here. Lanfa, don't you know that everything that's going on in Liberia right now in terms of judicial prosecution, political wrongdoing, and things, then the American know it to their fingertip?
Yeah, but on the ground, they there. They know what's happening.
I'm just putting something openly to go for you.
That whole Monrovia little bug and sit down in that office and see it on the GI got the CCTV camera.
Thank you very much.
They see everything.
I believe. I'm not sure they might address our presidents on that. How to handle it, that it should not escalate. Because the Americans seeing the truth, how the government is manipulating the system, the judicial system today under Joe Biden administration. And Americans know very well when, God forbid, anything go off here in Liberia, they always step in. Even the ECOWAS that came in to bring the UNAMI to Liberia, the America guaranteed it before the UNAMI came. You a journalist, you know. So America don't want to see anything like that happen. Maybe they might address our president on this matter. That's what I can say in this city.
Okay. Thank you, Padole and Linford. I think it was a great show. Let's wrap all this thing because we've been here on the 2-hour mark and it's weekend tomorrow, my birthday. I'll be looking forward to drinking my
wonderful.
Yeah, happy
birthday, Paul.
Happy birthday in advance.
Yeah, so tomorrow
I didn't announce it with my own last week.
My own April.
On the 29th.
But just that, unfortunately, I have not been celebrating my birthday this few days, to be honest. Because of that.
So yeah, I'll be relaxing home, having plenty of food, and then smiling. So friends and family who want to pop around tomorrow, I'll have some beer in the hall. Whoever comes, they just join me.
I'm coming tomorrow.
Yeah. I don't know. I just left. It's open. Anyone can just pop in. I'll be sitting down, just smiling and
I'm
be
coming tomorrow.
I know my man Tumu now around to get flit. So
tomorrow I'll be wearing my dark shades and just relaxing and celebrating the day. So,
That's it.
Yeah. So but guys, overall, I think we had a fantastic show and we had a lot of comments. Our audience for following us here, and definitely we'll be back here on Tuesday. So Linford and Padole, give your parting comment. Let's close the thing and then celebrate. Let me go and start celebrating my pre-birthday.
Very go.
Thank you. Let me make it and leave. So basically, to be honest, my closing comment in this talk show tonight is simply to pray for my country, for the citizens of our country to have a good thinking about the nation and do the right thing. Because we are seeing so many things that are going on, which is not what the goodwill and a good society can heal to. So basically, we right now, more especially one of our best and populated counties in Liberia, called Nimba counties, the, the guy who just took over there as a senator, there is another divisive person who is trying to create problem in that county. And I hope Liberian people will think wisely to curtail the thinking and the idea that man is trying to introduce in Nima country to divide the country. So I pray that we all will pray for our country for peace and harmony. And the president, when he having to meet Trump, you should have the gut and strong mind to defend and protect the integrities and the right, the interests of our country. That's all I can say here. Thank you very much. Have a lovely night.
Thank you, Padre. Linford, close the thing on so we can.
I just want to say that we hope the tweeting can be sped up. If the government has any case against him, let the government speed it up. Then the fight against corruption in Liberia should not be cherry picking, should not be by pick and choose, like we normally say in Liberia. We would like to see a full fight. That's why, in fact, before you start any war, you should make sure that you are fighting. Let's move on to the invitation extended the 5 African countries. And like I said, it is my hope that we will have individual meetings so that the presidents those presidents invited can have time to make their case. If some of them are invited to be summoned, or they are invited to go into a negotiation, so they will have the opportunity. It shouldn't be a straitjacket approach where you call the people, you put in, and then you get an instruction that you send your military men on the field. No, it shouldn't be that way. But if it turns out to be that way, fine. Then our leaders also should be able to be wise when they come back home and make decisions. Because people who are supporting American base in their countries, yeah, it's a good thing, but how much can somebody protect you more than yourself? You can protect yourself more than somebody will do for you. Because that person could leave you in the heat anytime. Look at Ukraine. What's happening there? When they told Ukraine go and fight Russia, we will back you. Today, Kyiv is being pounded by the Russians. Who else is there to fight for them? The innocent people are dying. So not everything that glitters is gold. Don't be a woman that every guy who will dress fine and come to you and say, I love you, I'm this and that, you just take a guy by face value, you don't check behind him. And unless somebody doesn't know how the West operate, they will always kind of create conflict, they will always kind of pretend like they can protect you and push, kind to shove, then they leave you there and go. They went to Iraq, they said they were changing regime, somebody have weapons of mass destruction, they damaged the whole country, they left from there today. Libya, that was a giant in Africa. Go there today, everything is Tekla. Gaddafi also will be the boogeyman there. They killed him and everything. The people are suffering. Anybody would have thought that by the time they kill Gaddafi, America will kind of rebuild the whole place just to go or not. So you should be careful how you call for this military base to rebuild in your country. Well, that's it, and we hope that the war in Ukraine can slow down. Then the Russian see some reason to spare the innocent people. That video I saw where people were on the ground couldn't call from the bomb, man. Why they bomb the building up and they could last war? I can't make it still.
Yeah.
But it's a bad situation. But we hope that everything will be okay. And for our viewers who can only first time today, I see the Philly Joe and Fidel Proof. And few other guys, welcome. Next time we're gonna be on Tuesday evening, same time. And that's it, Paul. Thanks, Padoli. Thanks to Francis, is not here though. And thanks to Paul, everybody. for making it to happen because it's not easy to sit here for 2 hours. Thanks, Paul, and take us on.
Yeah,
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks to our audience, and we shall be back here on Tuesday by His grace. So,
yeah,
guys,
quickly,
we just
quick question, please. Quick question. I thought you said this lady is supposed to be here tonight.
No, today is American Independence Day. Everybody's busy.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, guys. So we close on this Shawawa music from Liberia. That's the weekend, and we'll be here on Tuesday. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody. Yeah.
Thank you.
Boy.
If we're pregnant, speak up.
Only records, Now you bad liquor on that what you want me to don't can show yourself. Got plenty dancing, now you dancing, you get copy. I say don't can show yourself. You using Chani, Mr. Chani, I say don't can show yourself. You say you young boy, your sling on a papa bob. I say don't can show yourself. You don't get money, you want eat shawarma, eat some pizza, don't can show yourself. I using sense on you, using sense on your own Chani, don't can show yourself. Your Nina